There was a big, dumb military parade this past weekend in Washington, D.C., heralding the 250th anniversary of the Army, which also happened to fall on Donald Trump's 79th birthday. This past weekend, over 5 million Americans spoke out against Trump's heinous reign during the No Kings protests. In support of their efforts, Louis and I created a watch list of the best films that encourage revolution, freedom, and every other right Trump wants us to forget. But first, I have to say, I loved the fact that the organizers of these No Kings protests all across America did not have a counter protest in D.C. because you just got to see how pitiful this man's military birthday parade was. The shots of Marco Rubio, of, that walking bottle of vodka, Pete Hegseth, just like looking uncomfortable, sitting there, pissed off. Like, isn't fascism supposed to be fun if you're the ones running it?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, literally looking in the eyes of these people, as much as they act like brown nosers to Trump or are brown nosers to Trump, ultimately, they don't know why he is the way he is or why he's operating this way. They are just toadies with no backbone, and you could see it in their eyes the entire time during this pitiful, I call it the Macy's No Thanksgiving Day parade. It was also so strange. Like, who wants to watch like a tank with like a little head sticking out of it? It's not really what a parade is for. I'm just theatrically. There's like it gave very little. There were some people holding, like, as they walked down the street, holding models of planes as they walked by. Like your 3-year-old as he walks into the birthday party. It was so sad looking. And by the way, of course, Trump was so sad looking. He sat there not seeming to not know why he was there. Real Melania shit from him.
I mean, when you think about, this isn't a protest film, but it was a musical. It was on Broadway a couple years ago. Here Lies Love, the David Byrne, Fatboy Slim play about Philippine First Lady Imelda Marcos. Like, at least that's when it was describing a dictator, right? There was flashy clothes. They were spending a lot of money. They were dining with American first ladies and like celebrities and stuff. It's just like the fascism, the dictatorship here. They're stealing money, obviously, lining the pockets of billionaires, stealing it from real Americans. But everything just feels so gray and ugly and nasty. I just think that there's no class to this scheming, this purloining of money from America, and that somehow makes it even worse.
How blatant it is. I mean, like, literally, like, this man has a new fucking product every day. He's allegedly coming out with some MAGA version of an Instapot, which is like, who wants Trump to be a lifestyle maven? It's so strange. Like,
she wants to be one.
I fucking guess.
She wanted to be on QVC.
Yeah, no, which is, I think we could have trapped him there in like a Aladdin's bottle sort of way, like figured out a way to like funnel him that direction. Look at his website. It like is like, you can buy a Trump jumper and like just all these fucking like nonsense products. It's such a strange gambit. I don't mean to say that what is happening isn't terrifying, and I actually don't even mean to imply that anything about him is funny whatsoever. I in fact get really testy when far lefties say things like, but you have to admit, like, there is still something funny about him. I watch clips of this man every day for my job. I'm at rehearsal at Jimmy Kimmel watching clips of Trump every day. And I guess there are people probably tee-heeing at some of the stupid things he says. It's not funny. I mean, it's truly, we've heard it time and time again. His one strength as a leader is never seeming embarrassed. And in a universe that is obsessed with things being cringe, it's like, well, congratulations. You elected the one guy who never cringes. So your values all are spelled out for you right there.
I feel like a lot of things that people are discussing about him, like when they say he's funny, right? They were funny in that first Trump era when he was running, when he was first president, before like we descended into sort of the hellscape we're in now and everything. Like we weren't watching genocides unfold on our smartphones at this point. We weren't, seeing countries bombing each other. It was...
Or ICE rally, like throwing people into cars or whatever. Yeah,
like you were seeing this stuff, and it was kind of humorous. You could admit that, but he doesn't even have it there now anymore. He is not even giving the same Trump that he was giving before. It's like, it's exhausted, it's tired, it's pure evil this time, and it's just not, there's nothing amusing about it whatsoever.
It's also giving like his personal death rattle. Like he knows that he like, you know, he just turned 79, but like there's this like, fuck it, I'm dying, so everybody else should too. Like true narcissism shit, you know, like
it's giving Exit the
I
King.
can't leave.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's Ionesco.
Oh my God, Rhinoceros. What a play.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking about protest films, the first thing that came to mind for me is The Times of Harvey Milk. Now, you could go basically through the history of documentary and find things that are just as powerful. I feel a bit like I'm cheating by doing Times of Harvey Milk. But I think something that is awesome about that movie, and it's an Oscar-winning movie from the 80s, Oscar-winning documentary, not only does it sell the personality of this man who was just had such a magical quality as he walked around, the Castro in the 70s, the first openly gay supervisor in the city of San Francisco, and how he really got people up on their feet and made people participate and made people who had otherwise never felt seen, even in San Francisco, feel like they were a part of a movement, that they had a reason to be alive. It really captures everybody else in San Francisco, too. There's something about like all the talking heads in that movie that are so informed and have personality. And I'm sorry, returning once again to that buzzword, sophistication. Like people had a resting sensibility about life that they expressed really well in that movie. And it added to the just insane tragedy of his eventual assassination. That movie to me is way better even than the movie Milk, which we got in 2008, where Sean Penn won an Oscar, and it is a fabulous performance. But if you want true power that makes you want to get up and get in the streets and represent yourself and the people around you, The Times of Harvey Milk is probably my number one.
I love that documentary. I watched it last year. I think it was on Criterion, but it's on like Max and Hulu now. It's so fantastic. It's so good watching him, you know? It's
yes.
just like, it's sad that he
it's like he's still here.
Died.
It's like he's still here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about Harvey Milk this past weekend too, because I went to for part of the Tribeca Film Festival, Sam Fragoso, his podcast Talk Easy, he interviewed Sam Rockwell. And it was interesting to hear Sam Rockwell talk about his upbringing. His mom was an actress, and his dad was sort of like a union organizer in the Bay. And he talks about having like met Harvey Milk when he was like 8, you know, in the Bay, and just sort of like that you just forget that there are so many people who were involved in that period of history. I would say the same. I thought about that when seeing Purpose on Broadway. You know, like that story is very much about someone who was alive during like the MLK stuff and the Selma marching, and that also is just something that's like not that far back in history. And I would also suggest Selma as a movie to watch. You know, I've revisited that film. I had a lot of like mixed feelings about it when I'd first seen it, but I don't know. I think it just really does work, and it sells exactly what it's supposed to, and it feels just of the moment and current, you know?
Two other movies that make you want to organize, I think. Norma Ray, of course, comes to mind. That's a movie about...
please.
I mean, there's something about Sally Field in that movie. I think it's just her instant relatability. Like, she feels like somebody you would otherwise just run into in life, whatever, at the store or something. And to see someone like that really rise to the fore and, like, realize their own power is just extremely powerful. Like, you realize that these exalted images we have of people who make change, you still have to do the mental homework of realizing they're real people. Like I do. You know what I mean? Like I need to be reminded that that's doable. And I have to bring up the movie Till with our guest today, Danielle Deadwyler. I think the magical thing about that movie is this tragedy befalls this character, the mother of Emmett Till. I'm sure you're all familiar with that horrific historical event. But her resolve in the movie, how this anger and this just the Sisyphean task of life, basically, for this woman, turns into methodical action she can take, that she devises, that she, like, solves, how she becomes, like, more honed in and acute and unwilling to waver from her goals because of what happens to her in this movie, feels so human. It's so, like, right. Like, I get how that woman can be that person, even though she is clearly extraordinary and a force.
a film that I want to highlight is one of Steve McQueen's earlier films, Hunger, starring Michael Fassbender, and it's set during the 1981, I believe, hunger strike in Ireland. You know, it's sort of the tail end of the Troubles. And if you've not seen this movie, I think more people have probably seen Shame with Michael Fassbender as well. But God, this movie is so, it's a hard watch, but it is so good. And I think that Steve McQueen is just a fantastic director. He does it's sort of as visceral and hard to watch as 12 Years a Slave is.
And by the way, 12 Years a Slave, even though it was a Best Picture winner, somehow feels underrated to me now. Like I feel like there's this resting idea that it won because it was the most brutal picture. Lots of awesome characters in that movie. I'm not saying this is a protest film, but like just unbelievable turns from people. Lupita Nyong'o obviously won the Oscar, but Sarah Paulson in that movie, girl, that is an unforgettable performance. And also, my friend just said she saw Sarah Paulson in Palm Springs hanging out with Clea Duvall last weekend, and I just want to say that I am jealous because that seems like a fun trio, me and those two.
And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Malcolm X.
Everybody in that fucking movie.
Yeah, Denzel is just, he is so amazing, you know? And on screen, he's electric. They're teaming up again. I'm excited to see their upcoming movie, Highest to Lowest, which apparently could be their last project together since Denzel keeps talking about retiring. But this is Denzel Washington. I'm like, is retiring going to give like Elton John farewell tour?
I don't think he's like Danielle Day-Lewis, who sits at home and I think reads poetry all day. You know, Denzel's too antsy. I don't see it for him.
But that's obviously a definitive Spike Lee film. It's a definitive Denzel film. It's a definitive film about Malcolm X and the civil rights movement. It's so good. And I just want to do a brief aside about Denzel. I feel like not enough people have seen this movie because I've been bringing it up the past few weeks, and people don't know it. In the context of Zohran Mamdani, who is running for mayor in New York, and looks like he's going to beat Cuomo. Which is fantastic for this city. And if you're voting next week, remember, rank him first and don't rank Cuomo at all. But his mom is Mira Nair, who is this like amazing filmmaker who did Monsoon Wedding, but also, do you remember Mississippi Masala?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's one of those movies I watched because I saw Siskel and Ebert talk about it. In fact, I do most things because I saw them talk about it first.
Yes. Yes, we've talked about that before. Like, if you rewatch old episodes of theirs, you're always going to find this random film that people don't really talk about anymore.
Starring huge people. Yeah, right.
That was great. This was a film that my grandmother had on VHS. So I think probably just because Denzel was in it. But it is so good. And also, the love interest in that film is Seema from And Just Like That.
Come on, Life, bringing us back to Seema. Yes.
Yeah. It's a romance, and it's from 1991. It's a romantic drama. Speaking of like The Materialist and shit, but it's so good, and people should revisit that.
No, that's an underrated connection between Zohran and his own mother. You would think that would be talked about way more often, but the fact of the matter is her movie should be talked about way more often.
Also, he was a rapper briefly, if you don't know that. And
I don't know that.
He has a song and video that was in the Queen of Cotway soundtrack, and Lupita Nyong'o is in the video.
Yes, I remember one of the 5 live-action movies we allowed Lupita Nyong'o to make. Yes. That was a good movie, Queen of Cotway.
Yeah.
And one more movie that I don't even need to say anything about if you haven't seen it. It's a great protest movie, How to Survive a Plague. I mean, that's got to be one of the greatest documentary accomplishments of the past 15 years. So go and see that.
Also, a law room thing. The People versus Larry Flint is a very underrated film.
Why didn't Courtney Love act like 10 more times after that movie? She was Golden Globe nominated. She was on the path to an Oscar nomination. Didn't happen. But she had the power. She was like so compelling on screen.
Yeah, and that is a rare courtroom drama that does it well. So, you know.
Take that, Trial of the Chicago 7. That movie
Okay,
sucked.
We're not doing that again.
No.
I wonder if I rewatched it, I would probably not like it then. I think it hit. Wasn't that during lockdown?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I think I was just happy to be watching something.
I was still playing Molly's game, and Aaron Sorkin wanted to move on to this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Keep It is brought to you by 3 Day Blinds. Louis, what annoys you about low-quality blinds?
Well, as you know, I'm Nosferatu, and the sun getting through the window is of concern to me and my livelihood. I like a pitch black room when I want it to be pitch black, and 3 Day Blinds are essential in my life, both at Crooked and at home, in achieving this dream of utter blackness.
Well, it's 2025, okay? And your blinds need to be from 2025, okay? I know you're giving vampire vibes, but you cannot have blinds from 1871.
That's what I'm saying. Bram Stoker and I had a pact once upon a time, but, he's long dead, and I don't think he'd be offended if I changed them.
Okay, well, there's a better way to buy blinds, shades, shutters, and Betty Drapery. It's called 3 Day Blinds. They are the leading manufacturer of high-quality custom window treatment in the U.S. And right now, if you use our URL, 3dayblinds.com/keepit, they are running a buy one, get one 50% off deal.
We can shop for almost anything at home. Why not shop for blinds at home, too? 3 Day Blinds has local, professionally trained design consultants who have an average of 10-plus years of experience that provide expert guidance on the right blinds for you in the comfort of your home. Just set up an appointment, and you'll get a free, no-obligation quote the same day. Right as I walked into the office today, I was admiring the 3 Day Blinds right in the main vestibule. And the lighting in this room, by the way, is always spectacular. You walk in and you feel like you're on the set of a movie. And not just because Jon Lovett is barking orders like an out-of-control director. DIY projects can be fun, but measuring and installing blinds can be a big challenge. The expert team at 3 Day Blinds handles all the heavy lifting. They design, measure, and install, so you can sit back, relax, and leave it to the pros.
Let me tell you something. I am not a handy, okay? Jesus was a carpenter, and I'm not Jesus.
I gotta say, you're not in the carpentry guild, as far as I know.
And with 3 Day Blinds, you could choose from thousands of options that fit your budget or style with actual samples, and you won't be guessing about what your blinds look like. So right now, get quality window treatments that fit your budget with 3 Day Blinds. Head to 3dayblinds.com/keepit for their buy one, get one 50% off deal on custom blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery. For a free, no charge, no obligation consultation, just head to 3dayblinds.com/keepit. One last time, that's buy one, get one 50% off when you head to the number 3, DAY, blinds.com/keepit. Keep It is brought to you by OneSkin. Sunscreen is a summer essential, but what if your sunscreen could do more than just block UV? That's what the scientists at OneSkin wondered. So they made a whole family of mineral sunscreens that target UV rays, free radicals, and cellular aging.
The best part, unlike other mineral SPFs that feel heavy and chalky, these feel like skincare, lightweight, breathable, and super hydrating. You know what I like about OneSkin? It saves my life. I was just out at a pool in West Hollywood last week, and you know what my number one pet peeve is? People will just tell you, oh yeah, just you can use this SPF 15, like all people's skin are the same. If I put on SPF 15, I'm sunburnt walking to the car. I'm in danger walking outside. Please believe me, I need the SPF 1 trillion. Anyway, I'm going to burst into tears. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using code KEEPIT at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code KEEPIT. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Give your skin the scientifically proven gentle care it deserves with OneSkin.
This week's guest is a prolific actress that's booked and busy in every kind of project, from Oscar dramas like Till and The Piano Lesson to action blockbusters like Carry On and her upcoming project 40 Acres, which hits theaters July 2nd. Now, before Louis jumps out of his damn chair, because he is a Danielle stan.
The Danielle stan.
The Danielle stan. Please welcome to Keep It, the outstanding Danielle Deadwyler.
Thank you, guys. I'm so happy to be here. Just a minute ago, Lou was about to fuss at me because I'm from Atlanta and I'm in LA, but I'm no traitor. I'm a Southerner.
I was saying, you've not lived anywhere else, right? You've just been...
Well, I mean, yeah, but Rooted, yes, Atlanta.
I know, but I'm always fascinated with these like Joan Cusack type people who are like, I'm from Chicago and I stay in Chicago and you can pull me out whenever you get a chance, but I'm going to live where I live.
A hint like that. Yeah, I went to school elsewhere. I did a bid in Vancouver, a bid in New York, but I always come back home because, I don't know. It's got a hold on me.
I'm impressed by that. Is it like difficult to like decide you're going to stay one place when, you know, you're, I guess typically, though maybe more things film in Atlanta than in LA nowadays?
No. I think everybody's in a bit of a flux right now.
Yeah.
LA's in a flux because everything's moving abroad, quite frankly. But I don't know. I just came up, or my career shifted at a time when the internet became everybody's friend in a whole nother way. Self-tapes were booming at that point, and I had like this weird old school and new school experience of being like, oh, come to LA to test for this thing, and getting jobs or not getting jobs based off of being asked to come and have an in-person engagement, as well as being at home and being considered as a result of the projects that I had been a part of, that had gotten, big publicity or whatnot, and things just moved from there. But that also enabled me to really hone myself as an all-around artist, being at home, and being with family, and being with that very Southern root of artistry gave me a certain uniqueness to myself, and then people started telling Southern stories. And
Now, this movie, 40 Acres, is a bit of a Southern story, because it takes place, on a 40 acres. We know what that means. And we're talking about generations of family who have had to, fend for themselves on this farm in this sort of post-apocalyptic drama. What was it like? Where did this film, first of all? And then tell us about coming to this project.
Yeah, it was a strike project. It got a waiver during that time. I was pulled in maybe 2 weeks before the start, and R.T. Thorne, our director, we had a conversation, and I just had happened to be like really honing in on what does it mean to have and care for family land, to be attracted to honing one's legacy and digging into the rooted ways of, particularly Black cultural ways, food ways, farming, and just how do you care for land, right? And this is a story that she's a Southern rooted woman, but has, taken herself and her family to the north, to Canada, in order to escape apocalyptic, happenings in America. And we all know 40 Acres and a Mule. Spike has kept that refrain in our head for decades. And it's just, RT hit it best in saying that we're trying to get to, he wanted to imagine the future of what it looks like for people who were denigrated at a certain time and on a certain land, and how they would handle that future, in a Black and Indigenous family, and the ways that they have prospered as a result of the apocalyptic time, or and so I think that's what he's digging into. Not to mention, the generational tussle between the mother and son, and how that roots into the other children, and just what it means to blockade one's heart, to blockade one's family, one's sanctuary, and the implications of that as well. So, a lot of themes that are being explored, but at the root, some real Octavia Butler parable of the sword type,
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was thinking about what like distinguishes you as a performer, and I'm looking through your educational past. I realized you were also like a history major. And I realized, like, in almost everything you do, there's an immediate time and place to your performance. Like, you will never be accused of having iPhone face in a period piece. Like, this woman belongs in this story. And I was wondering, like, is that educational background, like, really help you, one, when auditioning for this stuff, like proving that you kind of know, whether it's like the piano lesson or Till or what, or in a movie like this, which takes place in the future, but still feels like it has a real dramaturg's touch to where we are in time and space?
iPhone face is hilarious. Because it's one of those things like, young folks, I don't bring my phone to set, right? Like it'll be there. Like my son is 15, so I need to know what's going on. But when you're in hardcore stuff, you need to stay present. And history, they ain't got no iPhones in the apocalypse of the future. They ain't got no iPhones in 1930s Pittsburgh. They don't. And that's just not interesting to watch. People do that, even if they do have a phone in a show. But it's just critical to know the milieu that you are a part of. It makes the character development richer. It makes the feelings and sensations that you have richer. You're always responding to the world around you in conjunction with the thing that is right before you. So, it's just, I thought I was going to be an academic, and I lied to myself. But I mean, that knowledge has been critical in my ability to explore the world of art in the way that I have. So, yeah, it's a part of the rigor of the exploration.
If you thought you were going to be an academic, sort of like, what path were you taking, and then what swerved you to being like, no, it's acting now?
Well, see, it's always been acting. It's always been art in general. Like dance was my first medium, and that's a natural and inherent segue into doing theater. I knew, like, my mom's, one of her best friends was is a visual artist, and so I was, Atlanta. I'm coming up. I'm looking at all this, it's a black arts mecca. And yet I didn't, my childhood brain didn't say, oh, this is a thing you will do. It was just kind of like, oh, this is just a part of your everyday. And so I'm like, okay, I got to go be a teacher or something. I was like, oh, let's teach on the collegiate level. That's prestigious and blah, blah, blah. And along the way, I was just like, after coming out of there and doing plays in the midst of those, those different educational tiers, I came out and I taught for 2 years, 4th and 5th grade, and something was missing, right? And then I auditioned for a play in Atlanta for Colored Girls. Jasmine Guy directed it, and
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
We also stan her.
Oh.
She comes up a lot.
It turned the switch back on, right? It was just like, oh, I am supposed to be doing this thing. I am going to do art in this way and in all these other ways for the duration.
That's interesting to me too, because in addition to your history background, you also have done a lot of performance art. And you have a creative writing degree too. As a performer, and now, I mean, looking at your Wikipedia, you were literally in 5 movies last year as an actor.
Was there?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That came out?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were all out. They're all out. Do you ever feel like devoting all your attention to one of the arts, to just acting, is like, I don't know, blocking off all these other things you want to do too? Like, can you ever be satisfied, basically?
No. No, I can't. No, I feel like I just try to keep moving. In the same way that I'm disinterested in being relegated to one particular genre, and people make an assumption, oh, you do a lot of this. No, I'm doing a bunch of things. I'm curating a certain kind of an exploration of a figure. That figure happens to be myself as a Black woman, and digging into all kinds of things with an especial digging into what does it mean to be a matriarch? What is Black womanhood, motherhood? How are those how does that experience ebb and flow? I've explored that, obviously, in this apocalyptic world of 40 acres, to piano lesson, to Till. I've looked at it in performance art as well, in self-portraiture, self-portraiture and visual art, and then performance art, like on the streets of Atlanta. And, I'm just trying to curate a well-rounded experience. I mean, there will be comedy forthcoming. There will be more action, thriller, whatnot, more historical. I think it's just about a dynamic movement of what does it mean to be in this body. And I'm pretty sure I'll get back to animals and abstract weird shit too down the line. Like, I'm trying to look at the full scope of the human slash being experience. And we get to change, we get to shift, we get to be queer as fuck, we get to be boxed in. Like, what is the full spectrum of this experience? So that's what I'm trying to get at.
When we first meet you in 40 Acres, it's such a phenomenal, entrance. You love a great entrance for like a heroine in an action movie, right? Like, it's just a baller entrance. What sort of characters or other inspirations, I guess, did you draw upon for this character when you're getting into a headspace of, like, I'm about to play a character like this?
I don't necessarily think about other characters. I think about what they want. What does Haley want? To keep cannibalistic, evil motherfuckers off her land, and by doing it at any means necessary. Oh, so, if I think of anything, I'm thinking of sometimes historical figures like a nanny figure, that Caribbean figure with that machete in her hand, right? With a hint of martial arts, right? And so just to learn how to flip that mug up and slice the hell out of, things, that's what's moving me. The audacity of somebody to come on my, to impose. That's more the energy, not another cinematic thing, because we want to have a fully unique experience. I know, like, filmmakers do a referential image making in the storyboarding when they make a film, or putting it together. But I want something fresh, and that tends to come in the form of, like, what is the heat in my body coming with?
It's interesting that you say that, because when I think of you in the movie Carry On, which is one of the more kind of traditional genre movies you've been in, like, that is an action movie. But what you do in the movie is not normal. There's a specific scene in a car that everybody who has seen that movie will never forget
They
about.
know now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I can't believe what I'm watching. Yeah. It's not just the choreography of that scene, is what you are doing in that scene. When you look at a script for something that is, an action movie, do you, like, have the confidence that you're going to bring something basically new to the genre when you work within it?
I looked at that script and said, "Oh, I want to fight in a car." Sure. I want to do it. I mean, I'm looking for uniqueness in the script so that I can have the ability to feel like I can. Like, choreography is just inherent, like, to me. It's I mean, like I said, dance is my first medium, so I want to do something deeply, deeply physical. Whether it's a character that is going to be fighting or not, like, the things, how somebody moves, what they do, how they hunch, that bodily energy of that character is going to be in there. So I do want to bring something unique. I do want to bring a tick. I do want to bring a chill or a heat to whatever I do. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the bulk.
Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. I sound as excited as a squirrel.
Yep. Acorns, my favorite. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start investing for your retirement, because the sooner you start, the more of a chance your money has to grow. Aha. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns recommends a diversified IRA portfolio that can help you weather all of the market's ups and downs.
I love walking around with portfolios. It makes me feel like I'm in Working Girl.
Oh, yeah. No, you're like Sigourney Weaver. You're like, I need this on my desk by 6, Melanie. Or what's her name? Tess McGill. That's her name.
You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the money you've got right now. You'd be surprised at what just $5 a day can do.
Plus, sign up for Acorns Gold and you'll get a 3% IRA match on new contributions in your first year. That's extra money for your retirement on Acorns.
Acorns has been a boon for my life because, let me tell you something, I don't save money.
No.
I don't even have a retirement fund. But now, Acorns is doing it all for me.
I was going to say, if it weren't for Acorns, I don't know how you'd be surviving day to day. I mean, I'm worried for you. Anyway, sign up now and join the over 1 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $2.2 billion for their retirement with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/keepit or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/keepit.
Keep It is brought to you by Helix. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if you love capital H-I-M or capital H-E-L-I-X.
Because you were born this way and you also sleep this way? I'm almost interpreting where you're coming from. Got it. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Everybody is unique, even Ira, and everybody sleeps differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. So how will you know which Helix mattress works best for you and your body? You take the Helix Sleep Quiz, as both Ira and I have. Take the Helix Sleep Quiz and find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes.
Midnight Lux, baby. I mean, we're going to keep saying it until it ain't midnight no more.
Well, it's like a sign of the zodiac. It's immutable. I am a Leo and will continue to be a Leo as much as I am a Midnight Lux. Me, Barack Obama, Greta Gerwig, Madonna.
Jackie O.
Jackie O was not a Leo.
I think she was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, name her birthday.
I think it's my birthday.
Really?
Look it up.
Okay. Your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. Go to helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Keep It. That's helixsleep.com/keepit for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Keep It. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/keepit.
As someone with such a wide variety of, I guess, arts that you participate in, that you're interested in, what are some things that you find yourself returning to, whether there's plays, whether there's books, films that you love, like watching, rewatching?
I'm a big Toni Morrison fan. I come back to her all the time. I think Sonia Sanchez said in the documentary on her, like, I think it's important that you come back to, Toni every year, right? It's an annual. You're going to learn something. I've read Sula multiple times. I listened to God Bless the Child, God Help the Child, multiple times. Rereading jazz.
Jazz is my favorite. The opening of jazz is so electric. Like, that's how you open a book.
Okay? Like, these are cynical. She's just an indelible figure, right, in our lives about what does it mean to be in this place without having to incessantly name this place and without having to incessantly balance our experience according to any colonialist, purview. Like, it is purely about what's inherent in the inner workings of us. Okay, so Toni, what else I go back to? I mean, I'm big. I got playlists that are just for me that stir a certain quality of emotion that I'm into, which is very much rooted in jazz music. What else? Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of more, but those are definitely like pinnacle kind of things that I move through.
40 Acres included, you are such a clear virtuoso of family dramas. Piano Lesson, the minute you appear on screen in Piano Lesson, I don't know if it's like the look on your face or something, it's like, jolt, we're in. Like, it's like the drama is already occurring. And of course, Till is simply devastating. In addition to being rad and empowering, what happens with that character.
You didn't say Woman in the Yard.
Yeah, which you produced. Yeah. I want to be clear that Danielle just threw her head back at that and clapped.
I know y'all have feelings, but
also counts. My question,
she was in that yard.
That's true. She stayed in the yard. Yes. Actually, she didn't. She moved around that house. Moving on. Yeah. She lied. I was just going to ask what your favorite family dramas are.
Jeez. I come back to family, not in the traditional nuclear family sense. I'm thinking of the chosen families. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of The Wiz.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love The Wiz.
Mr. Sidney Lumet.
That's people who would come together, right? Who are all, I need need. But it's really, I need you. And I mean, The Lord of the Rings, one.
Okay.
These disparate folks, like, folks who are choosing each other. I see something about me in you, and I'm independently of mind making a choice to go on whatever the hell this journey is with you. I find those family dramas compelling.
Also, more people need to be talking about Nipsey Russell. I'm sorry, the name is like lost to society. I miss him.
Yo, no, Nipsey as a name is pretty divine, right? Yeah. Like, about the beauty of Nipsey Hussle here in LA and how integral he was for the community. And like Nipsey Russell, like the man did anything like with the knees and the dance, right? Like in that way, that's some body work.
You're even in one of my favorite plays too. Like you were in a deconstruction of like the family drama itself, like Clybourne Park.
What are you doing? Why are you going so far back?
We are rarely screamed at.
Play.
That's so exciting.
I love theater, so I love that play.
I got you too, because I'll be back there sooner than later.
Okay, good.
Love doing that piece. Like this, just the respectability of the character, right, that I played, and then to like come out with such a voraciously nasty word. Like, I mean, that's what I miss. Like, you get to hear it instantaneously, like how audiences are breathing or halting their breath or reacting like viscerally to anything. Like that's critical. Yeah, deconstruction. Let's do all the things. I'm here for all of it.
I mean, yeah, for a performer with such, like you are so good at going intense so deeply, like, I mean, I have to imagine the difference in doing that on a set versus on stage, like you really enjoy, is there one you enjoy more, or do you have moments where you're on set and you're like, you can feel like the crew, like the people around you, like sort of intensely feeling something? I have to imagine for like Till or something too.
I think that is interesting. I don't have a preference, but I know I've always been taught that you get better with theater. And so, I mean, that's just my love, right? And I have to return, and do so in various ways every year. But, you can audibly hear and feel with a theater audience, and not so much with film and TV. They got to be quiet. And so I know that with intensity, right, there's a stillness that occurs, but the energy of a room is quite palpable. And I think different crew members have articulated after, right, a production, how something has felt to me, right? And because I don't know, in the midst of, I'm wiped out. Like, I'm completely zoned. And if they're really in it and they care, then they do leave you alone because they care, because they're watching the work that you're doing. And I have to be clear that they are a part of that experience with me, because they are in the room, because that all of our energies are critically interwoven and connected. It's the same thing with, what Octavia Butler speaks about in Parable, right? Like, God is change. Everything that you touch touches you. And so that's what is happening now in the world. That is what happens in a room together, whether you're making a film or a television show, or, smoking a doobie and watching and talking shit or whatever. I think that is really critical in any kind of artistic experience that happens for me.
I guess basically my last question is, I think you're such a spontaneously creative person, as is exhibited by this very interview, I just want to say. But coming up as a movie star, where you were, dealing with, I'm just going to say, largely brain dead people, and you're not that, who have you actually connected with as from movie actor to movie actor? Who do you, for lack of a better term, vibe with in the industry?
A lot of people.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do.
You're not lying to me. Yeah.
I'm not lying to you. know what? I think that's been the issue that we've had in American society, right? Like, we haven't locked in on the multiple intelligences of people, and not just this idea of, academic or book smartness, right? And so I think I'm really interested in that, right? Like, that what is street intelligence, street knowledge is valuable, right? Just because your granddaddy said, or the current granddaddies are, say things like, I went to the school of hard knocks. Yes, you did. That's really wonderful. And then what else, right? Like, I think valuing the way folks come from, the spaces that they come from, I think taking all of that into consideration is what's important. It's not just this upper elite prestigious thing that is important. What is happening in the middle? What is happening? And I don't even want to put it on a tiered thing in that way. It's a circle. What's happening on this quadrant of in the 270 to 360, special? What's happening in the 1 to 90 degree special? What's in the 90 to 180? Like, let's get all the hell around the 360 degrees so that everybody can have value, because they inherently do. I think that's where I am right now. But I do love a reader. That's kind of critical. It's like, are you just as interested in how people are thinking, or thinking deeply? Right? And thinking deeply is beyond thinking deeply from a book. Thinking deeply is, I've been very critical and observant of whatever the hell my environment is, from a Compton to a Silver Lake or whatever. Like how do you really assess every quality of an experience? And I think I want to connect to people like that, and people who don't blockade others out. Yeah. But I got homies.
Well, that's good.
You're all in the yard together.
Danielle stays in the yard. Yes.
But the barbecue is for everyone.
Danielle, thank you so much for being here. And I mean, if I do say so myself, it's not just that you're an awesome actress. You are a sick actress. And whatever you do, we'll be watching. So I'm so excited you stopped with us today.
Thank you so much. It's over already.
I know. I feel bad about it. It's crazy that we're talking about anything else this episode. I feel stupid.
Yeah, but I'm going to see you at the theater. Whatever you do it, I will be there. So,
look, yeah. I'm going to hit y'all. I got to shout out my homegirl, Aaliyah. She always sending me your podcast. It's like, Danielle, they say something. I'm like, oh. So I got ops on y'all. In the meantime, I will have a ticket just for you.
Oh.
Okay, great. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you to Danielle Deadwyler. 40 Acres hits theaters July 2nd.